G'day guys, it's Ross here out in the garden. And today, and this will come as no surprise to my friends watching this, I'm going to talk crap. That's right, I'm going to talk about the manures that you can use in your garden and how you're going to use them. Now I've got three around me. I've got the three probably easiest to get, but I'll also give an honourable mention to sheep poo. You can see that sometimes advertised on Marketplace or Gumtree. Sheep poo's got a very well balanced NPK value, which is your nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and it's low odour, so it's actually a good option for your garden. So you can put that in your compost, or if it's a little bit aged, straight into your garden beds. But these three are probably the easiest to find, so let's have a bit of a look. So what I've got is composted cow manure, chook poo or chook manure, and horse manure at the back, a big pile of it. And let's see how you can use each one. Now, this composted cow manure, you can pick this up from your Green Life at the hardware store or your nursery, anywhere from $4.50 to $5, $6 for a 25 litre bag. And what it is, it's well composted down manure and other organic material. So it looks just like good compost. Let's talk about what's in it. Now, it is cow manure compost, however, it's got other organics mixed in. And when you're looking at this, you can see a lot of fibrous material. And if you look at what comes out of the back end of a cow, you'll see a bit of fibrous material, but it doesn't look like what went in the front end of a cow. And that's because cows are ruminants and they've got 4 stomachs. So what they do is they walk along and they eat, and they do a minimal of chewing and they swallow all that grass. And when the ruminant, their stomach gets full, they'll go and lie down somewhere and they'll chew their cud. So you can see the bottom jaw just grinding. And what they're doing is they've regurgitated the grass and they're chewing it right up, like really chewing it, adding a lot of saliva, and it's going back down into their stomach and it works its way through the 4 stomachs. And when it comes out, it is incredibly well digested and it has all the beneficial bacteria in it. And what the companies that make this stuff do is they collect all of this from the farmers, they mix it in with other organic material and they hot compost it. Now when you hot compost a material, it gets above 60 degrees, which kills the pathogens, it kills the seeds, and it speeds up the process. So when you pick this stuff up, it's pretty much ready to go. You can put that in your seed raising mix, into your potting mix, you can put it in a hole in the ground if you're about to plant, so you can mix it up with other soil, and you can even top dress with it if you don't want to disturb the soil. So it's pretty good, as I said, pretty cheap, and for a small garden, it is my go-to because it's so easily available. Now let's look over here. What we've got here is chook manure, nice dry pellets of it. Now with the chook manure, here's a bit that's probably a bit easy to see. What you'll see, forgetting the feathers for a minute because the chicken's been molting, oops, you'll see some brown bits and a white bit. Now with chickens, they urinate and defecate through the same place. And what they're very good at is concentrating the urine. And the urine comes out as uric acid and it's white. So whenever they do a poop, you notice there'll always be a white bit. So that white bit is the uric acid, or it's the urine, but it's very strong in acid. So this is very acidic. And when you collect this, what you can't do is put it straight into your garden. You can put it into your compost and you can let it sweeten up, which is another way of saying it's got to age so that acidity comes right down. But if you put it in the ground, you top dress with it or you just plant in it, what you're going to do is burn the roots of the plant there and you're probably going to kill it. Okay, so you cannot use this stuff straight away. Pound for pound, it's probably punching above its weight. I'd say it's one of the best manures you can use. Chickens have a fairly quick process. Food goes in one end and it comes out the other end within 24 hours. And they do defecate a lot, on average about half an hour. So they're eating all the time. Some of that goes into building muscle mass for young chickens. For older chickens, it's basically maintaining their energy levels. And of course, that goes into the production of eggs. Everything they don't use, they still keep eating. It just comes out. So a lot of goodness in this, but you must compost it. Now, sometimes you'll see that this stuff's being sold as composted chook manure. So it's already been sitting in a pile somewhere. And you can generally tell the difference because the composting is sort of broken up quite a bit more and it's broken down. Now this of course is mixed with the bedding straw that I put underneath their perches, which is where they do most of their business. And so when I put this in the compost, that straw will also break down and add even more organic material. I think this is probably the best of the manures. However, it's the one you've got to be careful with. You can't use it straight away. Give that at least 6 to 8 weeks. Probably the longer the better. Now at the back here, we have good old horse manure. What does it look like? Well, it looks like grass, because that's what it is. Now, horses are not ruminants. The way the esophagus is designed in a horse is food goes down and it cannot come back up again. So they chew it, goes into their stomach, and then into their large intestine. Now in their large intestine, the food actually ferments and breaks down that cellulose, etc. in the grass, and they get nutrients out of it. But what you end up with is, well, it looks just like grass, because that's essentially all it is. This is really the same as a whole lot of grass clippings, plus the benefit of all those beneficial bacteria from the horse's intestinal tract. So it's good, and it's a good bulk material that you can pick up quite cheaply. To give you an idea, 25 litres, $4.50 to $6. This stuff, I've seen bags of this around the $5 to $7 mark, and they're usually around 30, 40 litre bags, so that's pretty good. This stuff you can pick up on the side of the road, usually with a $2 per bag sign attached to it in most places. If you live near a race course, there's usually a lot of training stables around, and they want to get rid of this. So if you go down to Morpheville Race Course in Adelaide on a Saturday morning, just that little area near the race course, you drive around, there'll probably be 100 bags of this out, and you just pick it up and take it. Make sure you put something in the back of your car if you're putting it in the car, because it'll be wet and it'll be fresh. Or take a trailer, but it'll be fresh and it'll be heavy. Can you use this straight away? No, you cannot. Well, no, you should not, more to the point. There's a couple of issues with this. Now, the first one is that horses are wormed, and the chemical they use takes up to 6 weeks to break down. So you don't know when they were wormed last. So if you get a bag of this, stick it over in the corner of the garden, leave it for 6 weeks, and let that chemical break down in the manure. It's a worming chemical. Now, earthworms are not the same as intestinal worms, but they're the same family, so they can be damaged or killed by that chemical. So that's why you don't want to be using this straight away. And the second reason, in fact, I found a piece before, I opened it up, and there was a seed sprouting. The first time I ever used this, I did put it straight onto the garden, and I came out a few weeks later and I had a beautiful crop of stinging nettles, because that's what those horses had eaten last. So that's the other reason not to use it straight away. If you can hot compost this, which means you need quite a big pile, it'll get hot, it'll kill the seeds and the pathogens. If you cannot do that, just be prepared that when you put it on, dig it in, whatever, you are going to have seeds that sprout quite likely. The one before was a piece of barley, I think. You'll just have to pluck them out. It's not a big deal, but just be aware of that. So this stuff, 6 weeks before you can use it. This stuff, minimum of 8 weeks. This stuff straight away. Now there's also other manures, for example sheep manure, which comes in little pellets, of course, straight out of the back of the sheep. You can see bags of that given away on or sold on Gumtree and Facebook. It is an NPK balanced manure, so that the nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus is pretty well balanced, and it's also very low odour, so that's a good one if you can get hold of it. You can also see other things like there's zoo poo, which you can buy commercially, comes from the zoo. You can get guinea pig poo and rabbit poo and llama poo and all sorts of stuff. Essentially, they're just composted organics. But as I said, this stuff's really good because it's really well broken down by the cow. This stuff's really good because it's nutrient dense. This stuff's really good because it's a cheap bulk. You've just got to make sure you compost these two. All right, that's it for today. I'll stop talking crap and leave you to it. As always, thanks for your time. And until next time, happy gardening. See ya.